kind of recommend the round cube because it's pretty easy to configure and it looks a lot like your Outlook. So we're just going to go right into the my inbox. So we're at our inbox now, and if you notice along the top here, the top right, you'll see 3 tabs. One says mail, one says address book, and one says settings. We're going to step through the settings first. So we click on the settings tab, and you'll notice some windows that come up over here. Now I want to make something clear. You don't have to go through any of these settings and your email will still continue to function quite normally. These are just personal preferences that you might want to make. So if we click on the preferences, you'll see along the right now that these have popped up. User interface, mailbox view. These are just the way it's going to present your email to you, the way it's going to look. User interface just tells you I want it in English and this is my time zone, etc. This is how I want the format. If you look at mailbox view, that's just going to tell you I'm going to show you a preview pane. I'm going to mark it red after this long. You can modify these, but like I said before, you don't have to, and it will still work fine with the defaults. Displaying messages. It shows how it's going to display the email that you just got, whether you want it to open it in a new window or display it as HTML, etc. Another one is composing. Here you have the option to automatically save a draft and what type of font you want to use, the default action of some of the buttons. This one is the address book. Sorry about the pause there. This one is the address book, and it just shows you how you want to sort the way your address book looks by display name, last name first name, whichever way you want to do it. Special folders are just your default folders that are created for you, your draft folder, your sent, your junk, and your trash. And server settings you don't really need to worry about. It just performs such actions as if you want to delete the email in your sent items or your trash or your junk email. It just gives you a few options to do that. So the next one down says folders. If we continue on to that, you'll see all the folders that I've created. Here is where I can add or take away folders. So if I want to make a new folder and I want to call it my personal info, I just click on the plus sign down here, and over here I want to give it a name. So personal stuff. Now, if I want to put it inside another folder, I would do so here and say I want to put it inside my CUPE news or my archive, but I don't. I want to just make it a folder that's just going to appear in this list over here. So I say save, and now if you look over here, you'll see one that says personal stuff, and I just created that. So if I want to remove that now, I just sorry. I want to explain something first. You'll notice over on the right here it says subscribe with a bunch of check boxes. What that means is if you have the box checked, it is going to appear in your list over here in your inbox. You may not want them all to appear. That's why it gives you that option. Like all my archived email, I don't have it appear here, but I can. It gives you that option. So if I go back to that again, you see how I've got those checked off. If I uncheck them, they don't appear there. If I decide I don't want that and I want to delete it, I simply select it, click on the little gear and say delete. It asks for my confirmation, okay, and you'll notice it's gone now. So that's how you create new folders. Also, the next one is identities. Here you'll see my name popped up because that's who's logged in. Your name and email should pop up. If you click on your name, to the right now you'll see how the display will appear to other people when you send it. Also, if you scroll down just a little bit, you can add a signature to your end of your emails. It gives you options to select font and size and italics and other editing features. The responses is similar to what we were talking about before. If we want to add an auto response so that every time I get an email from a certain individual, it can auto respond to them, or it can respond to everybody telling you I'm on vacation and not available. You just click on the plus sign, name the response. So we'll just call it test. And then in here you just say, I will be away. And then you save that, and then you can call back on it like a little database of responses. So you can have some pre-canned type responses that you just select from. The next tab over is the address book. And the address book is fairly straightforward. If you want to add an email address, you click the plus sign. Oops, I'm sorry. Back that up a little bit, please. Thank you. If you want to add a group or like a distribution list, you click the plus sign. It will open an empty box, and I can call it whatever I want. I'll just call it members for now. I click the plus, I click the enter, and it saves it, and now I have another group called members. In here is just creating your own personal distribution list is all you're really doing here. The next column over is adding contacts or other people's email addresses to your address book. You simply click the plus sign and fill in a few bits of information. Their first name, John. Again, you don't really have to add anything here except the email address. It will just show up as a blank in your contact list. So I recommend you put the first name and last name, and then you put the email address. And then save it. And then if we scroll down here, I believe it's in alphabetical order, or not. Maybe the last one I just created. And there it is right there. If I want to delete somebody, I just highlight that person and hit on the trash can icon, and it'll ask me if I want to delete it. I say okay, and they're gone. The last tab is mail, and that is simply just your inbox. You'll notice on the side all the folders if you've created extra ones. If you haven't, you'll just see the 4 default ones there, and in these are your actual emails. I have mine configured so that when I click on it, a copy of it opens in the bottom pane. You can configure it whichever way you're comfortable with. This is my preference. So that covers our email and some of the features of it in detail. I just want to remind everybody that Don't get overwhelmed by all these configuration changes that you can make, because remember that if you just leave it alone and leave the default settings, it's just going to work just fine for you.